Welcome to the SwimSwam podcast. I'm your host, Coleman Hodges, and joining me today, SEC champion, soon-to-be sophomore at LSU, Brooks Curry. Brooks, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm doing well. Thanks for having me.
I think you kind of jumped up on a lot of people's radars this season because of your SEC performances, and we're going to get to those in a little bit. But first, I want some background info. I remember seeing you at the 2019 Junior National Championships, swimming for Dynamo. You had some awesome performances there as well. What got you into swimming? How long have you been in the pool?
I've been in the pool for a really long time. I started summer league probably when I was about 4 years old. And I think I joined Dynamo when I was around 7. So summer league was always super fun for me. And joining Dynamo was definitely the next step from that. And that was also super fun. Being able to swim with those guys for 10 plus years has just been pretty awesome.
That's quite a history in the pool. What made summer league so fun for you? I mean, you don't usually hear about people joining at 4.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my parents told me that they just put me in the pool and I just swam across it one day. I was like super young and then waited a little bit till I was old enough to swim, and I guess that's when I started that. Summer league was super fun just because it's not stressful. You're not really worried about anything, and just how laid back it was and how fun the championship meets were. It was awesome.
So I know every state, we've been talking a lot about summer league on the podcast, especially this summer, with a lot of summer leagues, not kicking off this year. Every state's summer league, it seems, is very different from one another. How long did you swim for summer league? You said you joined Dynamo at 7, but were you still competing for your summer league well after that?
I did, yeah. I think I swam there for 14 or 15 years. Okay. Swam there for a really long time.
Nice. And so what was one of your favorite memories from a summer league meet or practice?
Probably one of my favorite meets in summer league was the ASA championship. That was really fun. And back before they switched leagues, the country club championship meet, those were really fun. Just get to see all old friends, just not really worrying about competition, just having fun.
Yeah. How big was the summer league that you swam for?
We were a really small team. I think we probably had less than 100 people. It was maybe 70 or 80 at the most. Mm-hmm. It was not big. We were definitely the smallest team in the league.
Gotcha. And I know Dynamo's in the Atlanta area. Did you grow up in the city or in one of a surrounding suburb?
So I'm from Dunwoody, and Dynamo's in Chamblee. So I'm pretty close to there. There's one in Alpharetta. We would go up there for Saturdays, or maybe once every couple weeks or something. We'd head up there, but started swimming in Chamblee, and that's where I'm still swimming now. In a collegiate group there, get to see some of my buddies there now, so that's pretty fun.
Yeah. Did you ever stray from swimming? You said you joined Dynamo at 7, but did you do other sports? Was there ever a decision time where it's okay, I kind of got to pick one or the other?
I did, yeah. I used to play baseball. I played baseball probably around the same time I started swimming, and I think I played till maybe I was maybe 12 or 13, and then that's when I went to go swimming quit baseball and started swimming full time.
And was there ever a point where you were kind of over swimming and you maybe wanted to do something else, or you didn't?
I was never really over it. Yeah, I was never really over it, but definitely had those practices every once in a while. Oh man, that early Saturday morning practice, that's gonna hurt. that was pretty much it.
Yeah. When I guess when did you start swimming in Dynamo's top group?
Senior one. So I think I started swimming in senior one maybe 2 years ago, 2.5 maybe. Been with Ian for, let's see. I think, yeah, it was about a year and a half. That was in a senior one with Coach Ian.
Okay. So that, I mean, that's pretty recent.
Uh, fairly. Maybe it was closer to 2 years, but it was still fairly recent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Would you say that that you were a late bloomer in swimming, even though you had been doing it for a long time?
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. That meet in California, the Summer Juniors, was definitely my first. I guess you could say breakout meet. That was where I had some of my most dramatic time drops, and then I guess that's where I guess that's where I really had some of my like biggest improvements there.
Yeah. What? Uh, tell me a little bit about kind of that 12 to 16 age range. Before that summer juniors. Um, Maybe what do you think started clicking for you, or maybe what was holding you back from reaching that full potential?
I think it was just training and just being more consistent in practice, just like attendance and all that stuff, just adding up together, like with drylands and just all the things coming together. And I had a really nice taper going into that meet too. So all those things together was really like, that was what really let me had a good meet.
Yeah. When you moved up into that senior one group, what was one of the biggest or ch- most drastic changes that you remember?
Definitely like the first day, the practice was just super hard. Like I just remember getting out of the pool and was like, oh man, this is how it's going to be. But yeah, it was good. It was good. I think I was one of the last of my friend group to move up there, so it was super exciting to be back with all those guys again.
Yeah. I mean, what do you remember the set you did that first day?
I do not remember that set. No, it was definitely a lot of volume.
Mhm.
Definitely a lot of volume. A lot of fast swimming that day. Just totally drained after that practice.
Was it a Monday?
um, it probably was. I think it was probably early in the week when I did move up. It was probably after a break too.
Gotcha. That makes sense. And so, was that pretty much you indicated that was indicative of what the group was going to be like? How do you feel like you handled that rise in volume?
I think I handled it well. Definitely had to get used to it. It wasn't something that I was like used to in the previous group, but um, it was definitely more exciting to be up there. A lot more motivation to like be swimming just with everybody around you that is probably in the same boat that you're in. So I mean, that was pretty good.
Yeah. On a similar note, yeah. What made that group special for you? What do you think was worked about Ian as the coach and Dynamo in general? I mean, if you were there for 11 years in high school, that something must have gone right.
Yeah, it was really just like the teammates and my friends in the pool. Like it was really what like we would all push each other and we would all try and hold each other like as accountable as we could, and that's just kind of what did it.
Was there a favorite set that you had during that time in senior one, or a particularly memorable set you guys did that kicked your butt, or that you kicked its butt?
Oh yeah, there's definitely a few. We would do a test set. I think it was at the beginning and the end of the season where it'd be like either 10 200s or like a straight up 2000. Um, and that would go for time, and that one was really hard.
So it was either 10 200s or just
Right.
2000. Sorry,
Right. Yeah.
20. Yeah, 10 twos. Okay. What was your best version of that set?
Um, I think at some point I just stopped looking at the clock and was just kind of going as fast as I could just to hold on, just pacing with the people around me. But I mean, that was definitely that was a kicker for sure.
Yeah, who were the guys that you were training with consistently in that group?
I think back then it was probably my buddy Ian, Nick, Theo. Who else is back there? Nolan. I had a bunch of guys. I think they're all in different colleges now. They got like WashU, UGA, um, Brown, Emory. So we got a bunch of guys all from all over the place swimming now.
Yeah. Yeah, so kind of leading into college, when did you finally decide or I guess verbally commit to LSU?
Um, I think it was a few weeks after my official trip.
And was that is that during your senior year or junior year?
That was during my senior year.
Okay.
Wait. I think that was actually during my junior year. I think so. Yeah, that was my junior year.
Okay. And what stood out to you about LSU? What, made you want to go swim and study there?
I mean, my goal when I was looking for colleges was to swim in the SEC. Like, I had been to other places, but I had just really fallen in love with Baton Rouge and the team. Like, I had really got along with the team, the coaches. Uh, LSU, like, pretty much had everything, like, I pictured, like, what college would be like when I was on the trip. I mean, all the facilities and the trainers and everything that they had there was like, it was big wow when I got there. It was pretty awesome. It was a super cool experience, especially like I was there on a football game. It wasn't the greatest football game, but like it was still a blast. Like it was so much fun.
I mean, certainly from the outside looking in, it seems like LSU puts a lot into their athletics and their facilities, and to be an LSU athlete certainly sounds like it would be a pretty cool experience.
Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So okay,
Great.
so let's get to that 2019 junior meet. You said you
Okay.
had a good taper heading into that meet. What was your preparation like heading into 2019 juniors?
Um, I guess we had just built up a lot. Tapered off in the weight room a lot too, and we would. I guess it was almost a drop taper kind of. We had a bunch of yardage going into it, and then the practice times got shorter, and then we would just come in and swim loose the few days up until, and then up until the meet, like was feeling really good. Me and all of my friends were feeling super good going into that meet. But I mean, yeah, it
How big was the group that you guys had going to juniors?
was pretty big. It was probably around 20.
Okay. So it's not like one of those meets where, you hear a lot of kids, swimming into the summer into late July, early August, and, there's only two or three of you going. You
Right.
had a pretty sizable group.
We had a pretty good group going. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Was there any indication before the meet started, in the week or two leading up to it, anything you personally had done in practice to where you were like, I think I'm going to swim pretty good here?
Yeah, I mean, we were doing some 25s and 50s and 75s, like either to the feet or from a dive, and I think I went a best time in practice, like just from a dive in a suit, in a practice suit, and so that was pretty exciting for me. Um, Definitely had some best times on some 25s too for just like pacing. That was also pretty exciting. We had also like done a lot of long course training leading up to that too. So that was pretty key, I guess. Having I think it was like every day we swam long course for like pretty significant time, and that was definitely a good preparation.
Yeah. So let's start with your individual swims. What events did you swim at that meet?
I swim a lot. I think I swam the 50, 100, 200 free, um, 100 back. Might have swam the 200 back. I can't remember if I swam that or not.
Hmm.
Um, Swimming some relays, 4x1, 4x2, and then I think the 4x1 medley too.
Okay. Uh, so uh, we'll get to the relays because that's certainly one of the most memorable moments. I think you guys closing out the relay on the last night. But
Oh yeah,
individually, how did your swims go?
they went really well. I think I had pretty much at best time in every race. I think it was best time in prelims or right on the best time in prelims, and then dropped a little bit more in finals. So I mean, it was about as good as you could ask.
Yeah. What was your favorite individual swim of the meet for you?
Definitely the 4x1 free. I think that relay was definitely my favorite.
Yeah. So tell me about let's get into the relays. Tell me about what you guys were thinking behind the blocks during those relays, because whatever it was, I think it showed in your performances.
Oh yeah. Um, I think it was pretty funny because we were in the B heat. I think we were trying to get some extra rest, so we swapped the relays around at like the last minute or something. Because I think one of the guys had just gotten out of the water after maybe a 500 or something like that, or it wasn't a 500, maybe it was a 200 back. I think that's
Mhm.
what it was. Um, and I mean, it was pretty cool seeing the lead that we had, but knowing that we weren't in the A heat, like we had to like push as fast as we could, just and hope for the best because we had nobody next to us to see where we were. And then like leading up like to the last leg was just everything I had. A last race of the meet.
And so,
So
what did you guys end up? Or sorry, what did you end up splitting on the anchor of that relay?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
That's okay.
Definitely a personal best though for sure.
You anchor in a personal best. You guys broke the national age group record for the 400 free relay, right? You win the event. So it seemed like a pretty good way to close out the meet.
Oh, it was awesome. Yeah. Finishing out club swimming with that was like definitely like best way I could have thought.
Yeah. Do you have a highlight for that meet outside of the pool, whether it was bus ride to the pool, a meal you guys had, what was a highlight for you from there?
It was just really fun just hanging out on the deck, just like out in the sun, just kind of having fun. Just going for a dynamic and then going from that straight into the pool and just chilling in the sun, staying warm. It was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly Palo Alto, one of the nicest pools you can have a swim meet at.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Yeah. It
Uh,
was cool.
and so then you head to LSU for your freshman year. What what went right for you in that year, and maybe what was a hurdle that maybe took some time for you to get over in those first few months at college?
Um, I'd say definitely getting used to like the training. It was much more like individualized or like specialized like per like what kind of events you swim. And that was really great. But getting used to that and the intensity and the expectations that you have was definitely like hard to get used to all that. But once that passed, the first month went by, like it was good. Got used to that and was like full training.
What was one of the best things that you experienced at LSU that those first few months that you did not expect?
Um, Definitely like I would say the support of the team, like how rowdy everybody gets during practice, like just cheering each other on. If you're like going up on the blocks or doing something for a sprint set, you're going to have a lot of people behind you and be cheering you on, having you do like the best you can do. So that was pretty cool to have that.
Yeah, and so you get used to college training. I think that's a fairly common thing for a lot of people. Kind of getting used to that difference between club and college. Do you guys have a mid-season meet that you kind of came down a little bit for?
Yeah, we went to TCU, I think, for midseason.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was a pretty good meet. I think I had a few best times there. I think, yeah, I had some few best times there. Had some buddies that went really fast too. It was a good meet all around. It was a lot of fun.
What do you feel like went well for you going into that meet, or just at that meet as a whole?
I mean, we really didn't have much taper going into that meet at all. I mean, we might have had like a day or two or something. So like to be close to my best times or even have new best times is pretty exciting at that point. To be able to like step up and go as fast as you've ever gone mid-season is pretty exciting.
Yeah. Did that light any sort of fire for you heading into the rest of the season, or motivation wise, how are you feeling heading into SECs?
Definitely, yeah. It was good motivation after that meet. We got back and started training, and we really started hitting it hard. Like every day, we would do something fast or have good power. A good, what's the right word? Power part of practice where we would all really go hard.
Mm-hmm. Was there, again, similar question to before? Was there a set this season that stood out to you that was like, okay, I'm really cooking here, or what, any workout in at LSU that went really well for you?
Yeah, we have sprint set maybe once a week, I think, and it's like 550s, 450s, 250s, and 150 from a dive at the end. And you're supposed to be within, I think, 5% of your best time on the 550s, and I was faster than that leading up to I think it was SECs when we did that set, and it was pretty exciting because I was faster than all my pacing times, and I felt like I still had more room to go. So it was definitely really exciting.
Yeah. So on that last 50 off the blocks, do you remember what you went in practice?
Um, I think it was probably like a 20-point high or 7 or 8 or something like that. Maybe a 21 flat.
Yeah. So pretty looking pretty good heading into SECs.
Yeah, we were looking pretty good. Yeah.
And then for anyone who hasn't been to the SEC swimming and diving championships, I mean, it's a meet unlike any other. You've got the men and women combined. You've got 10 to 12 teams, I believe, on both men and women. I mean, NCAA's is a whole nother beast, but SEC's a lot. You hear a lot of people say like it's the best meet, it's the best swim meet there is in college.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so you head into SECs as a freshman. Tell me about your experience there.
It was crazy. The first few nights were pretty tame just because I guess some people hadn't shown up yet. Getting towards the end of the meet, though, the place was packed. It was crazy loud during finals. It's just complete noise during some of the races. Like you can't focus on anything. Like just total noise around you. Like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and so heading into there. Let's start with the 50 free, your first individual event. How did you feel about that race? What did that do for your confidence moving forward?
I felt good. I felt good. Prelims went well. Finals went even better. It was exciting to have a really good race like that at the beginning of the meet.
Yeah, and so then the 200 free, I think you really put some people on notice after that one. What were you expecting heading into that race?
I mean, to be honest, I really wasn't expecting any sort of time or anything. I was just going to go for my best race.
Mm-hmm.
I was just going to trust in my training and focus on the details during the race and just see how it turned out.
Yeah. And I mean, were you pretty satisfied with that result?
Oh yeah, I was more than satisfied, but it was best time by like a good margin. And then to finals to even drop even more was pretty crazy.
Yeah. I mean, you came in, your seed time was a 136.0. You go 133.3
Yeah.
prelims and then end up second with 132.4 in finals. Do you remember anything about that finals race?
Um, those races, like in the moment, it's like a blur. You really don't remember it after it's over, but like going into it, I was ready. I was as ready as I could ever be. And just being mentally prepared was like the biggest part. So I was definitely physically prepared, just being mentally like on it, not getting distracted by the people around you or the noise around you was a pretty good part to be able to stay focused on the race.
Yeah. And so then the final day of the meet, after prelims of the 100 free, you go from 43.3 to 42.0, your top seed. You talked about, kind of being able to block out that noise. How hard was that to kind of stay focused, marching out for that 100 free in finals, being the top seed as a freshman?
It was real hard. You just can't even like focus on what you're doing. You just got to be like just looking ahead of you, focus on the race. Like that's pretty much all you can do. Once you look up or look to the like stand and everybody's cheering, you let the noise get to you. It's over. I mean, at least that's how I see it. Once you lose focus, it's over.
Again, was that race a blur for you as well?
It definitely, yeah. I remember diving in and I remember finishing.
I mean, what was it like to you finish and you realize that by 100th of a second you're the SEC champion?
It was unbelievable. Unbelievable. Still like surreal to me that it happened as a freshman. Like just unbelievable. I had no expectation that was going to happen or that I was going to drop that much time. It was just going for the best race. When I saw I was up with the lead, I was like, all right, let's do this.
I guess I'm here. And so obviously, soon after that, quarantine went into place. But before things really started shutting down with COVID, how are you feeling about the NCAA's? Because I'm guessing you might not have even considered going to that meet in individuals before SECs.
Yeah, it was definitely a goal at the beginning of the year. I didn't know if it was possible, but it was something that I wanted to do for sure. If I could make it, and that's what I wanted to do, I wanted to put myself in a position to either make it on a relay or to hopefully make it for an individual. It was super disappointing to find out that it was canceled. I mean, I remember the moment a coach came up to me and said, NCAA, it's canceled. I was like, oh man, it was just like sinking feeling. But I mean, it ended the season on a really high note, so I mean, I can't really complain.
I mean, certainly, yeah. I think a lot of swimmers kind of feel, NCAA's would have been awesome, but at least we got conference championships, and that is a positive for sure. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, take me through your quarantine. What have the last few months looked like for you?
The beginning of quarantine, I think it was about like maybe a month or right under 2 months, or where no facilities were open. Dynamo was shut down. Gym was closed. You couldn't really do anything. So we were trying to do as much as I could at home, going on hikes, bike rides, just getting outside and doing whatever I could. Then once Dynamo opened, I think it started at 3 and then moved to 4 days a week. And now that the gym's open, I'm trying to be in there three times a week if I can, 3 to 4, something like that. But I mean, yeah, I've been trying to stick to that schedule for now. And once we get back into school, definitely be on that schedule. It'll be pretty interesting getting you back used to that, having almost half the practices now, but it'll be good.
Yeah. A question I've asked a lot of people, what was it like the first time getting into the pool? How long did you end up not swimming?
It was right under 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I had tried to swim in a backyard pool and tried to make it work, but like the way the pool was set up, the wake was just pretty horrible. It started sinking even if you had a snorkel, so it was like it was pretty tough.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to swim on a band, but that didn't really work that well either.
And so, when you did finally get back in with Dynamo, did you feel better than you had expected to, worse than you expected to, right around like, oh, this is kind of what I was thinking?
Yeah, I was kind of right where I was thinking I was going to be. I definitely was not in like terrible shape, but definitely not where I wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, just trying my best to work as hard as I could to get back in shape as fast as I could. So.
And so to kind of close out our conversation, moving forward in the next few months, do you have anything you're focusing on, any goals, of either getting back into shape or, there's a lot of uncertainty about racing and whether the NCAA will have a season, but, what are you thinking for the next foreseeable future?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Dynamo's hosting a meet next week sometime, so that'll be good just to step up and race, just to see where I'm at, and then once we get back to school, it'll just be putting the hammer down all the time, just get right back up to where we were, and hopefully if we do have a season, or if we do get these travel meets and all these big conference meets, that I'll be in a good spot, that I'll be able to compete well.
Well, awesome, Brooks. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and talk with me for a while.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me.
You've been listening to the SwimSwam podcast. Stay tuned for new episodes every week. You can take SwimSwam podcast on the go by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Look for links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos as well.